Have you ever taken your socks off and noticed this ridge around your ankles and thinking, wow, like, have I ever put on a lot of weight? Maybe it's not fat. Maybe it's something else. And we're going to delve into that right after this. Welcome, everybody. This is the Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. I'm your co-host, Scott Patton. Joining me, as usual, Martin Patella, health engineer. Hey, Martin, how are you doing today?
Engineering away.
Awesome. Before we delve into our ankle situation, I just want to remind everybody that most health advice is a one-size-fits-all. Take this pill and take another one. But your biology isn't. You are unique. So we help people move past generic industrial medicine to find the specific natural path that actually restores your body to the way that it was meant to be. Greetings, George. Happy to have you back with us. Today, Martin, we are going to be talking about something that happens at our feet.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong one.
You are showing me a picture of a bone, son.
That's a bone. Oh, for some strange reason. Well, that's kind of embarrassing.
That's fine.
No, there we go. It took the wrong one up. So we want to balance the sponge. And we're going to be talking a lot about potassium and how important that is in our diet. But let's talk first of all, Martin, about why do people have these swollen ankles?
Well, it could be fairly innocent if it's the odd time, like if you sit too long, like on a long car ride or airplane ride or whatever, then your feet are stuck under you so that they may be pulling, right? And the simple antidote to that would be to sit with your feet elevated, like put a pillow under it or put them on a coffee table or sofa or whatever you do, just elevate your feet. And if that doesn't fix it, then you may have something more permanent. And then is it your kidneys? Is it your lymphatics? Or is it your heart that are not moving the fluids effectively enough to not have them pool?
So what we're really looking at is a pooling of liquid at the bottom of our body. Like gravity pulls it down and our body should be able to pull it back up and be where it wants to be. But instead it's so. And as you get older, like I notice this a lot with older people, like they have massive ankles. You can't see the bone or anything.
Yeah. That's from too much sitting too, right? Not enough walking will do it. Remember, the lymphatic system has no pump. It requires movement, and at minimum, it's walking. You need to move up and down against gravity, and so the contraction of the muscles, when the muscle engages, it squeezes, and when it relaxes, it lets go, right? So this is a pumping action of the muscle. Then you have the pumping action of up-down against gravity. So sedentary people, of course, will be worse off, and older people tend to move around less because
they're older.
That's the time side, but it's the joints hurting or muscles hurting or something, right?
Working through not wanting to work through the pain.
Yeah, that.
Like today, my right knee, just whatever muscles or tendons are right below the knee going into the calf and the shin is sore. And I went for about a half an hour, 3/4 of an hour walk this morning, no problem. And then I'm sitting here getting ready for this live stream. And then I go to the washroom and I'm hobbling. It's like, I've got pain just below, as
below your knee. Yeah.
Below my knee.
Something engaged, right?
Yeah. So of course, I, being the lazy fellow that I am, and abhorring pain, want to just sit for the rest of the day and not move.
Right. And
Which
the
probably
antidote is to walk it through, right? To work it out.
Yeah, work it out. So, all right. So we have a little presentation here, which for some reason showed up early. And so beyond the sock line, we're going to be talking about the metabolic sponge and how to restore your body's natural fluid balance. Because if everything is moving downward, that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be circulating all around.
Yep.
So what is pitting edema?
When you're swollen enough and you stick your finger in it and it stays depressed, like you see a hole after you remove your finger, that's the pitting edema. And that's a serious concern. You are now swollen enough that you have a problem.
Right. And so you need to do something about it.
Right. And so we listed those common problems, right? Like the symptom is you leave a dent. The common assumption, as the slide says, would be, well, you just were sitting too long.
Right.
However, what if it's metabolic? Most everything that we associate with aging and illness is really of metabolic nature. Next slide.
The metabolism is not working how it should be.
Right. And what is it that's causing this? Right.
Same old, isn't it? We keep talking about highly processed foods.
If you dysregulate your metabolism by pushing the carb beyond of what your body wants, you know, this seduction of the carbs, I mean, they are everywhere. If you walk into a bakery, I mean, we have bakeries, that the ultimate culmination of the carbohydrate addiction. I mean, you could easily call it a health destruction store.
Yes, but
anyway,
like our bread.
Well, and so the worst of it is, of course, the refined carbs, right?
Right.
The higher the glycemic index, the greater the insulin response.
Yeah, so we get these spikes in our insulin.
Right. Which then leads to... Here's a sidebar. Cortisol is the signaling hormone for stress, for fight or flight. When you get stressed and is triggered, you will release the cortisol, which will automatically release all possible available glucose into circulation to prepare you for running away or fighting with the danger.
Right,
and
the fight or flight.
Yeah, and that is followed by the insulin. What's interesting is the tie-in with the cortisol. Cortisol will cause you to retain sodium. It's the cortisol that signals it. It's the insulin that's responsible for it. But either way, you're holding on to sodium. That's where doctors start telling you you're eating too much salt. That's not true. You're not eating too much salt. You're retaining too much sodium. Not the same thing. You're doing it either because of stress or because of overeating carbohydrates.
Right. Not overeating salt.
You're not overeating salt. And you pee it out and you sweat it out readily. If you were exercising, you would be sweating out salt through the pores. Have you ever licked your arm after you sweated for a while? You know it will taste salty.
That's right.
That's why your dog loves you. He wants to get the salt.
Yeah, one of the dogs that I'm looking after right now, I'm in La Paz, Mexico, is comes up to me all the time and he licks my leg and licks my arm. And I know that's not affection. That's, I just want your salt. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the relationship between the salt and the sodium and retaining water?
Well, so the solution to pollution is dilution. right? So if you're concentrated sodium, the only way to flush it out is to drink more water. So you either pee it out or sweat it out. But either way, you need more water in so you can dilute the concentrated minerals.
Okay. Awesome. So as we often say, just getting surface relief is not good enough. So you could put on compression socks and now your ankles look like they're perfect.
Yeah, because you're squeezing it upward.
You just move that line from your ankles up halfway up your calf.
Either into your thigh or your belly. Yeah, take a picture.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So forget about the compression.
Yeah.
We want to look at the root cause. So get into metabolic interventions.
Well, this is the classic, right? We've been talking about the metabolic eating, and in general, our society overeats carbohydrates.
And that causes the problems.
Yeah. Yeah. And then,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Hi, Marla. Thank you for joining us.
Hi. Yeah. All right. So what's the story here? So when we get the metabolic inputs corrected, we are going to be able to relieve the kidneys of the excess load, right? So as I said in the beginning, is it the kidneys, is it the lymphatics, or is it the cardiovascular? It's one of the three or all three, either way. Yeah.
So here we have
there's your solution.
Here's the solution. Yes, it's easy.
Yeah.
Reduce your refined carbohydrates.
Yeah. So
give your body breaks.
Yeah, that would be either intermittent fasting or all-day fasting.
You know, it's funny. We talk about people working in a factory. They have coffee breaks where they stop. Right.
Yes. Yeah. That's intraday. Right. Yeah.
And we never think about your body is like you working in a factory and it needs a break.
Well, when you sleep, you're giving it a break. Right. But somewhere in the Old Testament, they wrote about a fast. They didn't mean eat fish on Friday. They meant eat nothing for a day.
Yeah.
It got modified by society that became affluent.
Right. Break fast is breakfast, is break your fast, which is sleeping, right?
Yeah, that's it.
But sometimes if you're awake and you let your body rest, like do whatever you're doing during the day, but you're letting your digestive system rest. You're letting your, by not eating, not drinking for, a few hours between your meals.
Yeah. Here's what we know. A hungry hunter is way sharper than a fully satiated one.
Very true.
And I know it for myself. If I want something done and done while sharp, I do it on an empty stomach. Because once I eat, a whole bunch of energy is rechanneled to digestion of that stuff that I just ate. So my available energy is lower, so my brain has less resources available to it.
Right. And then the third thing, potassium-rich foods.
So here's a gotcha. Here's a problem, right? Not everybody should be eating more fruit. Fruit is naturally rich in potassium. Well, the potassium foods, bananas, potatoes, avocados, there's a bunch of it. Many people don't do well on fruit. So if you're a fast oxidizer or a parasympathetic dominant, the fruit is the occasional rather than the mainstream diet or mainline diet. But there is one thing that's quite rich in potassium, and that's apple cider vinegar.
It's so because you get a little spoonful of that in your water in the morning and you're good.
Yeah, like tablespoonful. And you can make your salad dressings with it if you can enjoy that taste.
Right. That's the problem, is all the stuff that's good for us is hard to take sometimes.
Well, apple cider vinegar isn't so bad as far as dressings go. Oh, you know what's also rich in potassium? Lemon juice. And
oh,
so you can make your salad dressing with olive oil and lemon juice, freshly squeezed lemon.
or what about just squeezing half a lemon into a glass of water?
Of course, why not?
I do that almost every day.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. George
Huh?
says, "Yeah, good product, apple
Thanks,
cider
Ian.
vinegar."
Yeah.
So when I came here, I flew, and one of the reasons we're doing this show is my feet were swollen, right? And I had read somewhere that bananas were good for swollen feet, and I don't know if it was potassium is good for swollen feet, and bananas have lots of potassium. But I bought 3 bananas, and over the next 2 days, I ate 3 bananas,
Yeah.
and my feet are no longer swelling. Like they went back to
And
normal.
so
It's magic.
you did 3 things, Scott. You got out of the airplane, you walked with the dogs, and you ate the bananas.
That's right. And I would put my feet up. Like I like to lay on the couch and read. Well, I
Yeah.
put my feet up on the back of the couch
Yeah,
as
there you
well,
go.
right? Because I know, I mean, that, gravity goes down and we need to get, reverse it sometimes. I used to have one of those hanging upside down things, and that was very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, get yourself into some different positions. It's very, very helpful.
Right.
So habit number 1, reduce
Carbs.
refined carbs.
Yeah.
Cut the trigger.
Yeah, of course.
Easier
Yeah,
said than done, because
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
an addiction, right?
Okay. So there's gradual, right? There's 0 carbs, which is the ketogenic diet, which is a salad and steak, no potato, no rice, no bread. Then there's the moderate in there. Yeah, okay, you can have a glass of carrot juice, but not a bunch of pizza.
Right.
Or if you're going to go to an Italian restaurant, you can order a meal, but it's going to have a salad and meat. And watch people eat spaghetti, and especially do not eat the bread that they serve before the meal.
The problem is that bread is so good.
Heck yeah. That's why they give it to you. Anyway, so that's
At Whole Foods.
Yeah, of course. But what's the big deal with Whole Foods? The difference between white rice and brown rice is about 10 to 12%. However, here's an interesting sidebar. A carbohydrate that's been cooked and chilled loses its spikiness. So, for example, if you boil potatoes and then chill them and make potato salad out of it, the glycemic index goes from somewhere around 100, 105 down to 70 or thereabouts, just by chilling the potatoes. You can do the same thing with rice. You can boil rice tonight or last night and chill it and have it today with your lunch, cold rice in a cold salad. You'll be just fine. It really brings the glycemic index down a lot.
So when we're talking about problems with carbs, we're really talking about the glycemic index and the impact it has on insulin.
That's right, because when
And if
you
you
have a high spike, that's because it's so readily available. The equivalent is burning kindling in your fireplace.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So habit 2, give yourself a break.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, this is the classic for intermittent fasting. This works well for pituitary dominant and adrenal dominant exceedingly well. The adrenal dominants like to skip breakfast. The pituitary dominants like to skip dinner. The thyroid dominants can do it, but they really do better when they eat 3 meals a day. Because what you can do as a thyroid dominant is you could actually trigger your, it's called famine survival mechanism. Like most of us with the thyroid dominance also have this hypothyroid tendency. And it's the hypothyroid people who can live on way less food than anyone else.
So we're built to survive famine because our ancestors were constantly experiencing famine.
Yeah. Yeah. Like imagine the 30-year war in Europe when the soldiers would just go in and take the village and kill the cows and rape the women and move on, right?
Yeah.
And
All of a sudden, there's no food.
yeah, not just no food next year.
Right. Right. For a long time.
Right.
So yeah. So fasting is a potentially a powerful tool, but it may not be right for you. And this is, I think, one of the things that we harp on all the time is it's not one size fits all. Try the fasting, and if it's just awful for you, a terrible, because there are people that, oh man, I had a 3-day fast, I feel so good, and at me, it's like I haven't eaten for 10 hours and I just feel awful.
Right.
Probably not a good idea to fast.
Yeah, like that.
And then there's the missing mineral. Let's
Oh,
talk a
this
little
is-
bit
this is
about
a
the
beautiful-
sodium-potassium pump here.
Yeah, this is a beautiful nerdy idea that, there's a concept. It's called sodium-potassium pump, and it's the border is the cell membrane. So inside of every cell, potassium hides on the inside of your cell, sodium on the outside of the cell, and the osmotic gradient works to push nutrients in and also to pull nutrients out. So if you have lack of one or excess of another, either way, it will dysregulate it. So for example, if you eat high protein meals, you need to use salt. So vegetarians can do on much lesser intake of salt, as an example. But anyway, you need to have both. So you may be suffering from a potassium deficiency, in which case your cells will have difficulty taking nutrients in and also have difficulty pushing metabolites out.
Exactly. So you want to make sure you have enough potassium. Now, is there a danger of having too much potassium?
Well, there is such a thing as overdosing potassium and giving yourself a heart arrhythmia and a heart attack. However, the daily intake of potassium is somewhere around 4,500 milligrams, which is like close to a teaspoon of pure potassium, which would amount to about 2 teaspoons of some potassium mineral, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And
you really have to work at it.
You have to work hard at it. I remember an incident when a radio station did a contest to win something. I think it was a notepad or something like that for promoting water. And so they had people drinking water, and he could drink the most water before going to the washroom won the thing.
Oh no.
A 28-year-old woman won the contest and died of a heart attack at the radio station because she completely diluted her electrolytes to the point of sodium flush.
Right.
If they gave her pinches of salt with that water, she would have been fine.
Right. As George says, madness.
Of course. Well, you never know, right? Like, who would think that somebody can actually drink enough water to kill themselves?
Yeah, that doesn't happen every day.
Now, there are people, runners, who hydrate themselves so thoroughly that they actually collapse from cramps because they give themselves, again, sodium is the mineral. You will start cramping if you have not enough sodium. So if you're sweating excessively or drinking a lot of water, but not supplementing sodium, you're going to run into trouble.
Right. Or if you notice that you're cramping up a lot, check out your salt.
Yeah, absolutely. Drink. Well, I add Himalayan salt to my drinking water.
Yeah, make sure it's a good salt because some of it's not so good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to our pantry and talk about some foods that people could be eating, and then we're going to take a look at some Life Enthusiast products that we've got.
Yeah. Well, look at this. I mean, this practically is everything, right? nuts, beans, seeds, vegetables, mushrooms, meats, avocados, and dairy. Everything has potassium in it. Duh, because everything requires potassium to grow. In fact, if you want your garden to set flowers and grow lots of fruit, you need to feed it potassium. Remember the NPK, that stands for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
Right.
Funny thing that potassium in English is actually kalium in Latin, so it's a K.
It's a K. Yeah. All right. So we talked a little bit before about this fluid balance that we need to have.
Yeah.
And it's really a pretty easy plan when you think about it. Lower your carbohydrates, make sure you're fasting, going, some hours without eating, hopefully between meals. Make sure you've got high potassium foods. And when you think about it, high potassium foods taste great. Everyone loves salmon. Well, a lot of people like salmon. And then you've got avocados, which are great, and nuts and seeds.
So here's the thing, right? You're making a salad. It's got lots of vegetables in it, especially sprouts. And you throw some seeds on it and some lemon juice dressing with olive oil and a slab of salmon. I mean, what's there to complain about?
Yeah. This is the working formula, as George says. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So that's how you stay swelling free.
Yeah. And if you have persistent swelling, then get a hold of Martin. Go to life-enthusiast.com and
I'm not the only game in town, but don't ignore it. It's something that you should definitely pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's bring up a couple products that we have that would probably be really good to take a look at. And the first one is one of my favorites, and that is Iridessa.
Right on. So the reason we picked it's a multi-food concoction. One of the ingredients is apple cider vinegar. We don't use it liquid. We use it evaporated. So, of course, you can get rid of all the water, but whatever's left over, we put it into this mix. Plus, we use a whole bunch of other potassium-rich ingredients in here.
And I think apple cider, did you say apple cider vinegar?
I did.
Yeah.
We use powdered ACV as one of the ingredients. Yep. Yeah, it's a carefully balanced, all things put together, right? When you eat the Iridessa, it's like the core of your daily nutritional benefit. I wish I could convince people that this is not a supplement, that this is actually food, that this should be on the side of your food budget. That's a necessity rather than an optional.
It's not a luxury.
Yeah.
And you realize that when you end up in the hospital because stuff's not working properly.
Yeah, like that too.
All right. So then the other one is potassium ionic liquid mineral.
Right. So this is for people who want to just mainline it.
Mainline it. Well, and you have to be careful, right? Like we said before.
No, this is diluted. This will never cause you a heart attack.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Now, the recommended daily dose is a teaspoon. You can take 4 teaspoons and still be well within the range of what's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, awesome. So there's lots of options for getting rid of swollen feet. Yeah.
The number one is, as my old friend, no longer with us, Sidney Eager, he would say, Martin, don't get old.
Yeah. And the trick to not getting old is having lots of enzymes, right?
Yeah. There are just so many things, right? If you eat raw foods, which are rich in enzymes, or if you supplement enzymes, if you eat cooked foods, and if you eat foods that have been grown in good soils, and if you can't get those, then you supplement the minerals that are missing. like humic, fulvic, that sort of thing, right? Like there are workarounds. There are workarounds for people living in a modern society. We now need to be aware of the fact that foods grown by the industrial complex are no longer adequate to maintain us at an optimal function.
Right. And in the world, there are blue zones, places where people live
Longer.
and active well into their 100, 100, 105, 108. And so, look at what those people are doing and model some of their activity. And usually they're active, right?
What's interesting is that they're not all the same. There's a variety. But the things that remain is lots of polyphenols, which is a broad variety of vegetables, pigments from food. Some eat sheep and sheep cheese. Some eat salmon and fish. Some are vegetarians.
Some have red wine.
All the time. Well, red wine is rich in polyphenols.
There you go. Well, my mom is almost, she's 94. So she likes a glass of red wine every night, every evening. Yeah. So there you go. And this episode has gone too fast. Thank you, George. We agree.
Yeah. Lastly, it's people who live in hilly villages.
Yeah, there's no factory spewing smoke into the air nearby.
No, I meant that they walk up and down hills all the time.
Oh, okay.
Hilly village.
Yeah.
Up and down exercise.
Up and down, yeah. So important.
Oh, and the last one, in companions of others. They either go to a church or neighborhood or something, but they hang out with other people. They are not isolated.
They're not hermits.
Yeah, right.
There you go. The secret to longevity, everybody.
Yeah.
And we're putting together a course on that very topic, and we're going to let you know as soon as it's available. All right. Martin, any last words before we head off into the sunset?
Make sure you don't piss off old friends, because you will be missing them.
So true. So true.
Apologize often.
Thank you so much for joining us, Martin. Really appreciate our time together. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Really appreciate you. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with your friends, because you're going to need them around when you hit 100. And I'll tell you, it's pretty lonely when they're not here. And with that, thank you, Martin and Scott, for another great episode. Thank you, George. And this has been the Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye for now.
My body's a temple, but the walls are cracked. Stuck in the rubble of the years I've stacked. Stagnation in my veins like a river turned to dust. Toxic whispers in the wind, but I gotta rebuild. I must. Restoring vitality